Info FM, competing with a dead ex. Ha! You know, there are certain things I read online and I am shocked at the reality of those things. I'm shocked that people actually get to experience such things. But then again, I just realized it's life and anything is possible. You see, the life that we live is very, very unscripted. It's not a movie. You know, it's not a movie scene. And even some reality shows are scripted, just so you know. But then when we go through life, we just come to a realization that, this kind of thing they happen for this life. Oh. Whatever you see in the movies are, you know, they're fueled by people's experiences and people's stories. So for instance, the story of Mr. This or this group of persons is documented and someone says, you know what, let's make this a movie. Sometimes they are imaginations, but you see, those imaginations can become manifestations as well. I don't want to sound so, you know, philosophical and all of that. But then, let me also add that it is usually not easy for some people to move on from previous relationships. Yes, you were once in love with somebody. You loved the person. You love the person, die. You guys were doing Bonnie and Clyde, yin to the person's yang and all of that, match made in heaven. People look at you, they see your pictures, they're like, oh my gosh, you make me believe in love again. You make me want to believe in love again. So whether you're in a relationship or you guys are married, moving on from those previous relationships, except of course you never liked the person and you felt nothing for the person. So if the person's bad habits, bad have you guys just find a way to ensure that you're still together and then there is no breakup. But then at some point in time, you say the best we can do for ourselves is to move on. You go your way, let me go my way. But then they say it is even harder to break ties with a dead lover. In that case, you people were not fighting. You were not quarreling. All was well. But one of you dies. Reminds me of R. Kelly's, if I can turn back the hands of time, then darling, you will still be mine. They go. They leave this world. You're never going to see them again. A dead lover. It seems like it makes moving on to another partner hard. Between the one who is grieving the loss of their dead lover and the new romantic partner in their life, is the memories of the dead that keeps hovering. The memories you both shared. The good times. The times when you guys were walking into one eatery, taking ice cream. The times when you go out on dinner dates. The times when you have pillow fights. The times when you quarrel. And then the other person will say sorry. And then you now calm down. The times that you've cried together. The joy, probably you guys were high school sweethearts, went to the same university, graduated together, you know, your graduation pictures, your matriculation pictures, you guys had your first baby together. Those memories, sweet memories. The death of a spouse often feels like losing a part of your heart. It's a kind of heartache that reverberates through every single facet of your life. It's fear sometimes. It's insecurity. It's anger. Why did he have to die? Who did he leave me in this world for? For what? If every other person will die, him too, he will choose to go and die. He did not even reason me. Okay. So what would happen to me now? These children now that okay, you just want to go. Me, I will not Yabi be doing what? And then before you know it, you're crying. In shock. We're sorry to announce to you that you have to take it easy, okay? Your wife is no more. Hey! Mr. Man, are you okay? She has left me. It's shock. It's isolating. You alone know what you're feeling. No other person gets to feel it with you. It's pain. That kind of pain that you cannot explain. It's hell. You wake up. Hey. That's why I don't go take see Amaka again. So John don't die. But all of those horrible things can merge into something beautiful. Some people think. It becomes resiliency. It becomes independence. It becomes living boldly. It becomes compassion. It becomes a new appreciation for all the things you previously took for granted. But do you really move on? In the year 2012, I knew someone who lost her fiancé. I knew how long they had been dating. In fact, the only reason they hadn't gotten married at the time was because her father insisted that she finishes, like she graduates from her first degree. He wanted to ensure that she graduated from his house. He wanted to be responsible for paying her fees till she graduated. So they had to wait. The young man had to wait till she graduates before they get married. Who knew that waiting would leave her single for a very long time? So, two things here. What if they had gotten married at the time when they actually wanted to get married and he still died? She would have become a widow. In this case, she had to wait. She was still his fiancée waiting. So she became the fiancée of the dead. I don't know what they call them. There's no title, right, for someone who loses their partner and they're not yet married. For man is a widower. For woman is a widow. But when he died, it was very tragic. It happened here in Port Harcourt. That ordinance roundabout and all that. It was not easy for her to take. I mean, I was there. I tried consoling her. In short, when I heard he died, the first thing I thought about, how is she doing? I'm not saying he didn't have family. I'm not saying he didn't have brothers. I'm not saying he didn't have parents who would grieve. But the first person I thought about was her. How is she feeling? How is she going to cope? What's going to happen to her now? How is she going to be able to move on? Years later, she eventually got married. I was so happy. One of the happiest persons. I'm not sure her husband is the same. I don't want to believe that she's trying to use him to replace. I don't want to even, cut that thought in my head. But I can only imagine how long it took for her to eventually say, I let you go. I set you free. You're gone now. I'm alive. I have to move on. Let me read something to you. I saw this on Instagram early today. Just walk with me a few minutes. I will be done reading it to you. And then I ask the questions and I open the phone lines. So, let me go to the very beginning. Okay. I've been married for 6 years plus now. My wife was with someone else before we met, but he died a year before I met her. We were friends first, but along the lines, we started developing feelings for each other. A year after, I asked her out and she accepted gladly. We dated for 2 years before getting married. We have a pretty normal life and I am very happy with my marriage. Our ex's family celebrated his memorial every year on his birthday because he died by falling down the stairs drunk on his birthday. It was last week and my wife decided to go as usual. I have never been really comfortable with this, but decided to allow her go since she told me about it when we were dating, and I had no issue with it. I thought it was something that would happen and stop after a while. I decided to go with her this time around because she's sick and the doctors had asked me to keep a close eye on her. I tried convincing her not to go since she was sick, but she refused. And so I went with her as a last resort. We lodged in a hotel the night before, and the next day we went to the family house. We got there and his parents told her that his twin brother had finally come home. She had never met him as he was abroad for 9 years. I greeted everyone as my wife introduced me to them, and they were so welcoming and nice to me. I sat next to my wife, handing her the drink that was offered to us when his brother walked in. The drink had just passed to her, fell from her hand, and the glass shattered on the floor. It shocked me, and a piece of glass even cut me on my hand, but she wasn't focused on that. She ran to her ex-brother, hugged him tight, and started crying. "You look just like him. OMG, it's like he's still here with us." I just stood watching while my wife hugged a man in front of me, crying over his brother. I let them have their moment and headed to the kitchen with the mom to wash and get my bleeding hand wrapped in Band-Aid. By the time we came back to the parlor, they had separated and she was just sitting beside him crying while he consoled her. I was getting really pissed with the tears and wanted to leave, but decided to hold myself and stay till the end of the ceremony. When it ended, I approached my wife and asked her to say goodbye to the family so we could leave because I was tired, but she asked me to go on ahead to the hotel and she would meet me later. I told her I didn't want to leave her to come home alone later, especially with her not being well. She said it was no problem as she could just sleep over if it was too late. Are you all right? We were still talking when her ex-brother came and asked me not to worry as he could drop her off later when she was ready to come back to the hotel. I politely declined, telling him I was going to take my wife with me because I only am responsible for her safety, and if anything were to happen to her, I would be the one her family held accountable. She asked me to stop making a big deal out of nothing and just go, as the people she was with were basically family, and she was more safe here than even the hotel. I lost it at that moment and asked her why she was doing everything to frustrate my efforts to accommodate her wishes, even though I wasn't comfortable with it. We'll pause here. We'll come back after this.
For more talk,
Long read. I'll just go back to where I left off and then would ask the questions and open the phone line. So yeah, I lost it at this moment and asked her why she was doing everything to frustrate my efforts to accommodate her wishes, even though I wasn't comfortable with it. I told her to not bother coming to the hotel tonight anymore and stay with her family. I was almost at the door when I heard the brother say to my wife, "Geez, talk about a controlling jerk. The only reason you get to go through this is because my brother died. Oma, you must be watching this from heaven, mad as hell. I turned around and asked him to repeat what he said, and he did. I rushed at him and landed a punch on his jaw, and you can guess the chaos that ensued after that. By the time they were able to separate us, we had injured each other. I left afterwards, and my wife followed me angry to the car, asking me what was wrong with me. I slammed the door and drove off, leaving her there. She didn't come back, and I didn't bother calling her. I gave the receptionist the key with instructions to let her in when she came, and I left for home. She came back a day after and started giving me attitude. I told her we needed to talk about what went on back there. I apologized for causing the sin, but told her the only reason I acted like that was because of how she wasn't being considerate of my own feeling, even though all I was doing was looking out for her. She didn't take this well and called me an insecure person who was jealous of a dead man. Please underline that. She didn't take this well and called me an insecure person who was jealous of a dead man. I asked her if she was serious, and she said I was an insensitive persona and I couldn't understand the pain of losing the love of your life. I asked her what that made me, and she said, doubled down, saying she didn't mean it like that. I walked out, and we have been living like roommates in the house since then. We are cordial to each other, but that's about it. We haven't been affectionate, and even though she had tried initiating contact, I refused. I am beginning to think of just getting a divorce because I am not sure she's over her ex or if she loves me. Do you guys think I'm overreacting? Jealous of a dead man. Jealous of a dead woman. Competing with a dead ex. I have two questions. How possible and easy is it for people to fully detach from their dead lovers and move on? When you think about it as a single person, think about it as a married person as well. If you guys were married, they were children. The possibility that one of your child is a splitting image of your late husband or your late wife. Like when you see the pikin like this, you say, ha! Sometimes the child will do something, you want to spank the child, and when you look, you're seeing your husband's face. You're seeing your wife's face. Or they were not married, but they had children. You're seeing your ex-lover's face. That one did too. Maybe there were no children, but you guys were bonded. You were like this. Do you think you would ever be emotionally, as a human being, think about it. Do you think you will ever be emotionally and mentally prepared to be romantically involved with someone whose previous lover died? Someone approaches you, I love you. Can we be together? And by the time you ask questions, you discover their previous partner died. They did not fight. They were still together when the person died. It's a different thing when they were not together and the person died. They'll grieve. They say, oh, but, well, I detached a long time ago. Yeah, he's a human being. I feel the loss and all that. Do you think you can be prepared? As a woman, someone who was married, his wife died. Someone was in a relationship, his girlfriend died, his fiancé died. Whether they're children or no children, do you think you're going to ever get to that point where you are emotionally and mentally prepared to be involved with such persons? Let's talk. 0817-923-0002 and 0817-923-0003. Again, 0817-923-0002 and 0817-923-0003. WhatsApp and Telegram number for your WhatsApp and Telegram messages is 0809 030 6416 0809 030 6416. On X, we are at Nigeria Info page. Once again on X, at Nigeria Info page. And our Facebook page remains Nigeria Info 92.3 page. Go there, watch us live, but most importantly, be a part of the conversation by dropping your comments in the comment section and also calling us so we can hear from you. Nigeria Info, good afternoon to you and welcome. You're welcome. I can barely hear you, my brother. Is there something you can do to help? You were a victim?
Very, very people of people are talking now. I was a victim. I lost my loved one. His loved wife are supposed to marry.
You see what you do for me? I need to hear your story, but your volume is very low. Do you think you can do something from your hand about your volume?
What I'm trying to say, are you hearing me now? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
It's not like I can't hear you. I can hear you, but you're not audible enough. I need you to increase your volume.
What I'm saying, are you hearing me now?
Okay, yeah, this is a lot better.
I said I was a victim of what you are saying now.
Okay.
It took me time to look to a woman. For 8 years, I didn't look to a woman when my loved one died. My dear man died.
Oh, the girl you wanted to marry died.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the grace of God, I begin to consider women. So it is a very painful thing. I don't enjoy it if I have the mind. If God is not in you, you cannot enjoy. So that's what I want to say. Thank you for this. I've remembered about again now. I just saw a picture in me on my face now. So may her soul rest in peace.
May her soul rest in peace. If you don't mind me asking, okay, what was it about her? Was it about her? Was it about the situation? Why did it have to take you 8 years? And do you believe that by the time you met your wife, 8 years after, you had fully moved on and detached? It's a loss. Nobody's saying forget this person ever existed. But coming to the realization that they are no more and your life has to go on, not being caught up in that web of trying to replace them with someone else, to the point where you are calling your new partner their names and you're trying to imagine them in place of your current partner. Or sometimes you're having an argument and then you go out and you say, if it was Chinedu now, Chinedu would not have spoken to me like this. Drawing comparisons between them and the current person. How possible and easy is it for people to fully detach from their dead lovers? And for you who would end up with someone who once had someone like that, do you think you will ever be emotionally and mentally prepared to be romantically involved with such persons? Nigeria Info, good afternoon to you and welcome.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Didi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, welcome.
Thank you. This is Miriam from Crescent.
Mira, you're welcome.
Thank you. Didi, I was just listening to the story and I knew that marriage may not work, honestly. The lady has not moved on. Dealing with people like this, Didi, it all boils down to not everybody is emotionally mature for even doing this relationship thing. even not even about their spouse died or they can't get over it, not everybody is really matured. It's just like jealousy too. Some people when they instead of love of a thing, some people when they fall in love with one person, it, it, it it's like it should last forever. It lasts with them forever. Another person cannot. They don't even have the strength or the maturity or the emotional intelligence or maturity to even want to start all over again and to bring another person in again. They just keep themselves like that. A person like that, you cannot. It's just like when you enter into that marriage, you love the person so much, and then you enter into the marriage with that same person, and all of a sudden the person changes. You're just stuck. If the person decides to divorce you, these are the people that eventually decide to end it. They just can't bear it. And it's not good to do it to that extent. Yeah, love is good. It's good to love, but it's to prepare for unforeseen circumstances. So that's the reality. Me, I'm always a realistic person, honestly. So dealing with those kind of, I think that man cannot. No. But in one or two ways, she will see that she can never love this man. The way she reacted, no. She can't love her husband the way she did. She's still in love with the dead.
I mean, going for annual remembrance or memorial for 9 years. I mean, the person died a year before they met, so she went for the first year. A year after they started dating, they dated for 2 years. She kept going for it, 2 years. They are now married for 6 years. So do the math. That's a long period of time for someone to detach.
No. It is too much. It just no. I think for that one, I think the man has to. Maybe what they should do for her is maybe if she can. I believe that love she can even transfer it to that his brother.
Between brother
that looks like him so much. Yes, she can even love that his brother even more. I think immediately she even fell in love with his brother because of the love she had for him. So if they can accommodate her in the family, some people like that, they can even if their spouse, but they are 100% ready, willing to marry their husband's brother. They'll just see their husband in him and they're good. But for she to be with someone else, I think she cannot. She cannot get over that man.
I watched a brief interview of Bimbo Akintola, the Nollywood actress, veteran she is. And the person asked her why she was still single. And she said the person she would have ever married in this life, the one person who was her soulmate, died. No other man came close. And that is why she remained single. He died. If he didn't die, they would have been married. But he died. And I'm like, okay, he died. The other people, why? So no, he died. So that's it. No other person. No other person. My sister, that man or woman should move on. The man or woman is dead. And he or she is dead. If he or she loves that partner so much, then they should keep marrying the dead body. We all can do away with it, but sometimes you take things too far. Max it, send that in. I think the man should stay away from the woman. She will never love him. He made a mistake marrying her. I'm talking from experience. My husband's ex didn't die, but my husband still compares her to me, prefers her. I am managing my marriage right now. So why did they break up in the first place? Why did he go back to his ex? Lady, good afternoon. What I see there is that the lady has not gotten over the dead lover. If she has, she shouldn't be so attached to the dead lover's family. She shouldn't frustrate her husband with all that. Too much attachment with the dead lover's family, I beg. Please, she has not moved on. Easy. I'm trying to find that Bimbo Akintola's stuff. It's not easy. If someone can say, because this person I loved, he don't die, so no more. Think about it. No, think about it. So maybe I cannot find the video, but I can read it. My forever love died. Actress Bimba Kitala and why she is unmarried at 54. And she revealed the reason behind her decision not to find another lover. In a recent interview, she stated she is yet to marry because her forever lover passed. Are you married? She said no. And then he goes ahead to ask. People that know how to mind their business, as some would say. He died. I don't talk about it, but he died. Do you know how long it took me to find him? A very long time, but he's gone. I don't believe that you get married for marriage's sake. If you are not going to be truthful to your vows, then why are you doing it? The person where me fit do forever for don't die. He's gone. I'm not saying that you can't have 2 or 3 loves in your lifetime, but do you know how long it took me to find that one that I knew I could stay with? I'm also too old to understand red flags when I see it, and I think I'm too old to manage and say I am doing something just to make other people happy. Who are those people? To make the world happy? I should marry someone so that the world can say you don't do them. It doesn't make sense. I don't care. I really don't care. No, I won't do that for anybody. I'm always truthful to myself, because at the end of the day, if someone dies, when you stand in front of God, now you and God, one-on-one, you go answer the question. Nobody go answer the question for you. So I'm living my life in all truthfulness, being truthful to myself. She believes in marriage, oh. However, the man she wants to do it with is late. I do. But the person I did it with is dead. He's gone. I have not seen anybody else. And before I saw him, I thought it will never happen. I have dated, but I have never seen myself marrying those people. I didn't see forever with those people. Nigerian info, good afternoon to you and welcome.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Charles.
Good afternoon.
Okay, yeah, I'm calling from Port Harcourt. I lost your storylines. What you're talking about. As for me, I just felt Alma has not actually forgotten the dead husband.
He was not a husband, he was a boyfriend.
Okay, a boyfriend. Sorry. She has not forgotten her dead boyfriend. And the man I went to marry her did a very big mistake, because he didn't make confirmations about her before marrying her.
What confirmation did he need? What confirmation did he need? What confirmation did he need?
Somebody you want to marry very well. I'm not sure he knew, because he just saw her. He didn't ask questions. He didn't know what's going on with her. He just went ahead and married her.
They did it for 3 years, so they did it for a long time. They did it for 2 years.
3 years.
2 years. They did it for 2 years. He met her a year after the boyfriend died. Then they dated for 2 years. She accepted. They started developing feelings. She accepted. Then after 2 years, they got married.
Yeah. My dad, that feeling was fake. There was not a genuine feeling there. So the man, I would tell the man to just leave her, apply for a divorce, and then move ahead with his life and go for someone else, because she will never come out of that shackles of her life.
Shackles.
That is like a vacuum that's created in her heart.
Okay. Okay. Zero 0817-923-0002 and 0817-923-0003. Again, 0817-923-0002 and 0817-923-0003. Nigerian for good afternoon to you and welcome.
Good afternoon, Didi.
Good afternoon.
Yes, concerning the matter you're talking about.
What's your name?
My name is Daniel, calling from Port Harcourt.
You're welcome, Daniel. Go ahead.
Yes, first, that lady is just taking the whole thing too far. Then, secondly, the man, her new husband, made a mistake.
He's not a new husband. He's our only husband.
Okay. The first was a boyfriend. Yeah.
Yes.
Made a mistake. Because how can you continue from the first year, the second year? No. It's wrong. You would have corrected it after maybe 1 or 2 years. You cut that relationship off. You don't encourage such a thing for a very long time. It's wrong. And the lady is very, very insensitive. It's wrong. What she's doing is actually wrong.
Will you call it being insensitive, or will you call it inability to move on, inability to detach? That's why I asked the first question: how possible and easy is it for people to fully detach from their dead lovers?
That's what I'm saying. You know, sometimes you have to think with your head. You don't have that like.
I don't know what's happening to my network. Now let's come home. A man loses his wife. He probably has children. And even if he doesn't have children, she dies maybe January 2024. And by June 2024, family members will come, his friends will come, say, guy, how far? You know you guys move on, Abby. I'm telling you reality. My late father lost his wife August 2019. August 2019. She was laid to rest October 2019. They were not young people. No. These were people in their 50s. And by December that same year, his fellow pastor was saying something like he should find a way to remarry. It's not going to be easy for him to live alone and all that. August. Towards the end of August. So there's September, October, November, December. So let's say he took that advice. By the following year, he had started contemplating remarrying. And it was solely for companionship. You see, nobody asked, are you done grieving your late wife? Everybody felt he should have moved on. Whether or not the marriage was good or it was bad was nobody's concern. I mean, if you shared your life with this person for roughly over how many years? 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 14 years, 30 years, 30-something years. I mean, people should allow you to be able to process the fact that this person is no more. Except, of course, just maybe you were wishing the person dead. Right? But I saw that it was normal here to persuade a man who just lost the partner to move on. And like I said, he was already contemplating because too many voices were telling him that. Sadly, he passed on November the following year, 2020. And you know, some people said, it was because he was lonely. It was because had it been he had remarried, he would have stayed longer. I don't know how true that is. But a woman loses her husband. I know someone like that. My mother-in-law has been a widow for over 20-something years. She lost the husband when her children were still children. Her eldest child at that time was about 12, 13 years or so. Do the math. She's in her 50s now, getting to 60. But she has been a widow for that long. With all the children, 5 wonderful boys. My husband is one of them. She's been a widow for that long. And I kept wondering why. Why didn't she move on? Why didn't she remarry? Okay, let's say she stayed back to take care of the boys. But the boys are all adults now. My husband is married. The other one is married. The other one is married. One of them. And one of these days I teased her, I said, Momsy, I go find a husband for you. She said, I bet fine, no, fine. I said, if I find you go agree. You go agree? Would you agree to move on? I mean, for all I know, you've stayed this long without a man. You've raised these children on your own. At some point, I don't feel like anybody is going to wear that shoes of being your husband. Is it actually about emotional attachment to these departed lovers? Or is it just an obligation to still hold on to their memories regardless? You know, I thought about it. I'm like, okay, if she remarries, she's not going to bear this name anymore. She's been too long here to even want to think of somebody else. Even if her children let her. I mean, is she going to even view marriage the same way? The fear that she gets into another marriage and she will become a widow again. Greetings, DW. The damage victims of such situations face a lack of closure based on some residue of unfulfilled expectation and potential possibilities. So may I send that in? This one meant to. I don't understand what that means. Good afternoon, Denise. Why did the lady not marry her late ex-boyfriend's brother rather than agreeing to marry another man? The late ex-boyfriend's brother just showed up after 9 years. He just came home. He has been abroad. And he just came home. Maybe if he had come home at the time when they lost the brother, who knows? But he just came home. Back to your message. Instead of agreeing to marry another man who she sincerely does not have feelings for, I also blame the husband for tagging along with her on those yearly ritual of remembrance. Regards, NG from Rumibo. We'll go on a commercial break. And when we come back, we'll round off the conversation. Stay tuned to us.